Friends, good morning everybody. Yesterday we discussed about a poem, or we have completed a poem 2.4, that is Have You All Your Tomorrow, written by Edgar Guest. Now today we have to discuss about the appreciation of the poem. So why the appreciation is very essential for us, or what are the points for appreciation that already we have discussed. But still I want to tell you something about the appreciation. So appreciation, why it is essential? Appreciation is very essential to get the good qualities from the poem, to get a detailed information about the poem, or we can say what lesson we can learn from the poem, or what style of the language is used here, what is the theme of the poem, that we have to discuss in the part of appreciation. So very, very important points are there in the appreciation, those also we have to discuss here. Now for the appreciation there are some points which are very important. The first point is title. So why this title is given, and behind using this title what is the reason is there, that also we have to discuss. हे टायटल घेतण्यामागचा पोएटचा उद्देश काय आहे याच्याबद्दल सुद्धा आपण चर्चा करणार आहोत. Then about the poem, so what is about the poem, the short information about the poem you have to write, and then about the poet, theme, style, special features, message from the poem. Now next, now title, what is the importance of title, that we have to see here. Now the title of the poem seems to verbal question which implies a moral behavior. It is totally about our moral behavior, and here the poem begin with verbal question. There are many verbal questions are used here by the poet. Have You On Your Tomorrow is the self-proclaiming title to inspire the behave morally. म्हणजे आपलं बिहेवियर, मोरल बिहेवियर कसं असलं पाहिजे, हाऊ टू बिहेव morally, to inspire that this poem is there, and the title is self-explanatory. म्हणजे title proclaiming means what? Self-explanatory. And here some other things are also given by the poet, those also we have to discuss here. Now in the title some other things are also there. It gives hint that we must help the people around us, and it confirms our bright future. आपले फ्युचर मध्ये त्याचा suppose you behave very well morally with the people around you, definitely those people will help you in your future, or we can say that will be good for us also. So the title Have You On Your Tomorrow is meaningful according to the title, and it is also we can say apt or suitable title. Then many things, and title also tells us as you sow so shall you reap. That is also जसं आपण एखाद्याची वागणूक दिली तर तशी वागणूक आपल्याला मिळत असते. So we can take the example of one of the lesson that already we have completed on saying please या lesson मध्ये, as conductor is behaving, giving well treatment to his passengers, passenger also giving well treatment. So that's why this proverb is applicable here, as you sow so you reap. Now next, I think everyone get the meaning of the title, why this title is used here. Now about the poem. Have You On Your Tomorrow is an inspirational poem. It is also a didactic as it teaches a moral lesson about the behavior and the kindness of heart. Now it is an inspirational poem. So the poet inspires us to behave good with others or to improve other. म्हणजे दुसऱ्यांसाठी काहीतरी इम्प्रूव्हमेंट व्हायला पाहिजे किंवा दुसऱ्यांचा विकास व्हायला पाहिजे, असं आपण काहीतरी केलं पाहिजे असं पोएटला वाटतंय. And that's why he try to inspire us, and it is also didactic. Didactic means what? It teaches us a moral lesson. एक काहीतरी नैतिकता आपल्याला शिकवत असते कवितेची थीम, and that's why it is also a didactic. And behavior and the kindness of heart. Behavior and the kindness of heart, that is also lesson we can get from this poem. The poem has many self-answered questions to motivate the readers to be good with others, to have a good future. Now here, many self-answered questions. Now what are the self-answered questions that I want to read in a book? Some self-answered questions are given here. Did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who come along? ज्या मित्राशी तुम्ही भेटलात त्याला तुम्ही cheerfully म्हणजे आनंदाने ग्रीटिंग केलं का? सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनरी और सेल्फ आन्सर्ड वी कॅन से. या प्रश्नामध्येच यात उत्तर सुद्धा दिलेलं आहे. देर आर मेनी क्वेश्चन्स. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑल्सो वी कॅन सी हियर. इज someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? जे तुम्ही आज काम केलं त्याच्याबद्दल एखादा तुमचे स्तुती करतो का? So this question is also self-answered question. So there are many self-answered questions are used here in this poem to inspire us, to motivate the reader. So here I think you know about the poem. Now one thing I want to tell you, एक गोष्ट तुम्हाला सांगतोय मी की जेव्हा तुम्हाला in the examination appreciation is asked, at that time what you have to do? If you don't know about the poem, in the introduction मध्ये जो आपल्याला short paragraph दिलेला असतो about the poem, that also you can write here. That is also about the poem, short information about the poem. तो जरी इथे लिहिला, that is also applicable or acceptable in the examination. तो जरी लिहिला तरी सुद्धा एक्झाम मध्ये तुम्हाला चांगले मार्क्स मिळू शकतात about the poem लिहित असताना. So I think you get the information about this point about the poem. Now next point. Next point is about the poet. This poem is written by Edgar Guest, who was British born American poet. In the first half of the 20th century, he became known as a people's poet. 20व्या शतकाच्या आतापर्यंत ते people's poet म्हणून ओळखले जात होते. Why? Because whatever he was writing, it was inspirational as well as optimistic, म्हणजे आशावादी and inspirational for everyone, and that's why he was called as people's poet. His poem often have an inspirational and optimistic view of everyday life. जे दररोजच्या ज्या घडतात दैनंदिन जीवनामध्ये ज्या गोष्टी घडत असतात, whatever happen in our daily life, and on that he was composing poem, and that's why he was known as people's poet. So this information also you can get in the textbook in the introduction of the poem. Poemचे इंट्रोडक्शन त्या ठिकाणी दिलं असेल तिथे आपल्याला शॉर्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन मिळत असते. यू कॅन राईट दॅट ऑल्सो इफ यू फील इझी. तुम्हाला जर ते इझी वाटली तर तुम्ही ते तिथली लिहिली तरी चालेल. And here whatever information I am giving to you, if you write this may be also applicable and good for the examination. Now theme of the poem. What is the theme or central idea of theme ला काय म्हणतो आपण? Central idea of the poem. theme ला काय म्हटलं जातं दुसऱ्या पॉइंट मध्ये? Central idea of the poem. Theme of the poem, have you earned your tomorrow, is about the result of our behavior in the life of other and in our own life. So result means how you behave in the society with the people, that is result of our behavior in the life. जीवनामध्ये आपला बिहेवियर कसं याचा जो रिझल्ट असणार आहे तो म्हणजे काय? That we can learn here in this poem. That is a central idea, that is the theme of the poem we can say. Otherwise you can say today's good investment is tomorrow's gain. आताची चांगली इन्व्हेस्टमेंट म्हणजे काय पोएटला म्हणायचंय? अवर बिहेवियर, अवर गुड बिहेवियर. इट इज टुडेज इन्व्हेस्टमेंट फॉर टुमॉरो, बेटर टुमॉरो म्हणू शकतो आपण. उद्याच्या चांगल्यासाठी, फॉर बेटर टुमॉरो टुडेज बिहेवियर इज व्हेरी इसेन्शियल. आजचं बिहेवियर आपल्या इतरांची असेल, स्वतःबद्दल असेल, तर ते टुमॉरोज गेन साठी किंवा उद्याचं मिळवणार आहोत आपण त्याच्यासाठी आवश्यक आहे असं आपण म्हणायला हरकत नाही. वी शुड वर्क ऑनेस्टली फॉर अवर बेटर फ्युचर. आपल्या बेटर फ्युचर साठी आपण कसं वर्क केलं पाहिजे? ऑनेस्टली. आपलं बिहेवियर कसं असलं पाहिजे? ऑनेस्टली. अँड good behavior is very essential according to the poet here. That is also the theme of the poem. If we encourage others or make them happy by our encouraging word or by our kind behavior, it is directly or indirectly beneficial for our tomorrow or future. Suppose if you are behaving very well with others, you are encouraging others, जर दुसऱ्यांना तुम्ही encourage करत असाल तर definitely your tomorrow will be bright, your future will be definitely bright, or you will get benefit from that. त्याच्यातून आपल्याला benefit नक्कीच मिळणार. Next, style. What style is used here? Now the style of the poem. I think I told you that style is nothing but the language used in the poem. ज्या प्रकारची भाषेचा वापर केलेला असतो पोएम मध्ये, that is called as the style of the poem or style of the language. The poet is known for his simple uplifting style if writing is a poem, right? Style writing in the poem. in writing the poem. It also written in a simple style. It is uplifts the thoughts process and the force used to analyze. Now uplifting means what? Improving. The poet is known for his simple uplifting means improving style in writing poetry. जी poetry writing करत असताना जी improving आहे, what kind of improvement is essential in this poem? Our behavior, our social behavior. It also written in a simple style आणि एक साध्या आणि सोप्या भाषेमध्ये ही कविता लिहिलेली आहे. It uplifts the thoughts process and force us to analyze the self behavior. So we can analyze our self behavior, and that we can learn from this poem. How? Suppose in the night, whenever you are about to rest, जेव्हा तुम्ही रेस्ट घेणार आहात, संध्याकाळी झोपताना, व्हॉट एव्हर यू हॅव डन टुडे, जे आज तुम्ही सगळं दिवसभर केलेलं असेल त्याच्याबद्दल तुम्ही समाधानी आहात का? यू हॅव टू अनालाइज युअर सेल्फ. इट फोर्स अस टू अनालाइज अवर सेल्फ हाऊ यू बिहेव विथ अदर्स टुडे. त्या दिवशी तुम्ही त्या व्यक्तीशी कसं वागला ते संध्याकाळी आपल्याला अनालाइज करायला लावत असतं. वाईल यू आर लर्निंग दिस पोएम, ही कविता शिकल्यानंतर आपल्याला अनालाइज करायला लावतात की हाऊ यू बिहेव विथ एनीवन. ही मे बी युअर फ्रेंड और अननोन पर्सन, तो तुमचा मित्र असेल किंवा अननोन पर्सन, त्याची तुम्ही कसं वागला हे अनालाइज करायला फोर्स करते ही पोएम आपल्याला. Now next, it has 4 quatrains. 4 quatrains means 4 line stanzas are there. I think that in the last poem also discussed that. Rhyming scheme of the poem is A A B B C C A A D D E E F F A A. This is the rhyming scheme of the poem. Now let us see here what is the rhyming scheme of the poem. So here this is the rhyming scheme. Way. Now here way today means A A, through you B B, along from C C, then way day A A म्हणजे A जिथं जो एंड झालेला आहे तो जसाचा तसा आहे. So this is the rhyming scheme of the poem. Now what are the special features of the poem? This inspirational poem, this is inspirational poem, and the special features of the poem is repetition of the sound AY that appears in the first, second and the fourth stanza. It unify the poem. Improvement of human relationship is the focusing element in this poem. Special feature काय? Improvement in the human relationship. Suppose if you are behaving good with others, means that we can say improvement in the relationship between that person and you. That's why writers say, a poet says here, improvement of human relationship is the focusing element in the poem or in this poem. म्हणजे improvement in the relationship between the people who are behaving, जे आपण वागणूक इतरांची देतो त्याच्याने आपलं नात्यामध्ये जी इम्प्रूव्हमेंट होते तर ती इम्प्रूव्हमेंट होते असं त्यांना म्हणायचं आहे. अँड AY रिपिटेशन ऑफ दिस साऊंड इज हिअर. AY जो आहे तो रिपीट केलेला आहे. कुठे कुठे रिपीट केलेला आहे? फर्स्ट, सेकंड अँड फोर्थ स्टँजा मध्ये. नाउ लेट अस सी हिअर वेअर दीज वर्ड्स आर रिपीटेड. फर्स्ट मध्ये बघा, फर्स्ट स्टँजा मध्ये रिपीट केलेला आहे AY. लास्ट लेटर बघा AY दिलेलं आहे इथं. That means the sound AY are repeated here in the first, and then first la repeat केलेला आहे AY, and then here also where means AY and AY, and then fourth stanza also AY and AY. These sounds are repeated here, and that is the, we can say, one of the special feature about the poem. Now here, what is the moral of the poem? That let us see here. Moral we can say, or we can say message from the poem. या कवितेतून काय शिकायला मिळतं त्याला आपण moral. It is a didactic poem. असं आधीच आपण म्हटलेलं आहे. Didactic means we get a lesson from the poem. ज्या पोएम मधून एखादा लेसन आपल्याला शिकायला मिळत असतो, धडा शिकायला मिळत असतो, त्याला डायडॅक्टिक पोएम म्हणतो आपण. सो moral of the poem or message of the poem. Message of the poem is straightforward. Try to make others happy by your behavior. Encourage the faded one. Let them remember and talk good about you. Now, your straightforward message is given here by the poet here. What is that? To make others happy by your behavior means by our behavior. You have to make others happy. That is the moral of the poem. आपण आपल्या बिहेवियरने दुसऱ्यांना आनंदित कसं ठेवायचं याच्याबद्दल लेसन आपल्याला या पोएम मधून शिकायला मिळते. हाऊ कॅन वी मेक अदर्स हॅपी बाय अवर बिहेवियर. आपल्या बिहेवियरने दुसऱ्यांना कसं आनंदी करू शकतो. आणि हाऊ कॅन वी इनकरेज बाय अवर बिहेवियर. आपल्या बिहेवियरने आपण दुसऱ्यांना इनकरेज कसं करू शकतो. That is also given. That is also message of the poem. That is also moral from the poem we can learn here. Encourage the faded one. Faded means what? Who lose his hopes. जो एखादा hopes ज्याला नाहीत, hopes lose झालेले त्याच्या, he discourage means a person who loses hopes. You can encourage, and by your encouragement if he is doing well, आणि आपल्या encouragement मध्ये ज्याच्या आशा मावल्या असेल, he encouraged by our behavior or our words, then that also we can learn from this poem. So let them remember and talk good about you. And definitely if you encourage a person and definitely you have encouraged that person, then what will happen? He will remember you. He will talk good about you. आपल्याबद्दल तो चांगले वाक्य करेल. He really appreciate you. He will greet you very well, and you can greet yourself also very well. So that is the message from the poem, or we can say moral of the poem. Now here poetic devices used in the poem. So poetic devices are used in every poem to make a language or to make a poem very effective, or for emphasis these poetic devices are used in the poem. So here, is anybody happier because you passed his way? Now here, now in a one line, एकाच लाईन मध्ये more than one poetic device may be also there. एकापेक्षा जास्त पण poetic device असू शकतात. Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Now question mark is there at last. So it is, we can say, interrogation. Why? It is a question. It is a kind of question. कोणताही क्वेश्चन दिलेला असेल त्याला आपण कोणता poetic device म्हणतो किंवा अलंकार? Interrogation, figures of speech, or we can say poetic device. And second one, alliteration is also there because sound H is repeated here in the word happier and is. Here the sound H is repeated, that's why it is alliteration also. Now next example, were you selfish, pure and simple as you rust along the way? Now here S and S are repeated, so it is alliteration also. And selfish, pure means two opposite words are used here side by side, so it is oxymoron. Two opposite words, selfish and pure, these are the opposite words, are placed together, means side by side. Whenever in any sentence any opposite words which are used side by side, that is oxymoron poetic device. त्याला आपण काय म्हणणार? ऑक्झिमॉरन पोएटिक डिवाइस. जेव्हा अपोजिट वर्ड्स, फक्त अपोजिट वर्ड जर साइड बाय साइड असतील, ऑक्झिमॉरन. साइड बाय साइड नसतील आणि अपोजिट वर्ड्स असतील, दॅट इज अँटिथेसिस. बट हियर साइड बाय साइड opposite words are used, that's why it is oxymoron. Now next, is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? जे आपण म्हणले त्याच्याबद्दल एखादा आनंदी झाला का? Is there anybody? Is there anybody who is rejoiced by your deed or your behavior, we can say. So here S and S are repeated, so it is alliteration. And it is synecdoche also. Why it is synecdoche? Because the heart is replaced, or heart is playing or represent the whole people or person. It is representing the whole person. When a part of the body is representing anything, the whole body, and synecdoche, that poetic device is used here. I have given here definition also, a figure of speech in which a part is made to represent the whole. जो part एखादा part आहे from to whole bodyचा जर रोल दाखवला असेल, that is synecdoche poetic device. Now next, does anyone remember that you spoke to to him today. आज आपण एखाद्याशी वागलो, आज आपण एखाद्याशी जर वागलो कसा, तर तो आपल्याला आठवण ठेवेल किंवा नाही. एक सेंटेन्स घेतलेला आहे. इट इज अलिटरेशन. The sound T and T are repeated here. That's why it is alliteration. It is interrogation also because the question mark is given at last, so it is a question and kind of question is there. We can use or we can call it as a interrogation, or we can identify him as an interrogation. Now here one thing I want to tell you, it is alliteration also. Why? Sound T is repeated here, and that's why it is alliteration also. Now one thing I want to tell you about the poem, there are many alliteration example of alliteration as well as interrogation are used here in this poem. Those you can write in your notebook. Now first of all, I think we have completed the poem.